Welcome to Mad Props. I am your host, Chris Schnabel, and this is a little different of a setup if you're watching. I know I missed a week. That's why I want to make sure I get an episode out. But I'm at my home, and my home office is out of commission, and my living room is out of commission, and our other office is out of commission. And I just don't have the time this week to run to our podcast studio partner, Maker's Gym. So here I am in my back patio / porch, and I'm recording this episode of Mad Props from here. The cool thing is you'll probably hear some background noise. I know you'll probably hear some kids screaming across the street, playing at the playground. You'll hear some and see some cars in the background. That was kind of perfect how that worked out. But just a little bit of a different setup, just trying to do something a little new, but at the same time want to get an episode out there. We're currently getting ready to go to Massachusetts for our friend's wedding. There's just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes and everything like that. So we're at the home setup by ourselves today, just to talk championship and stuff like that. Before we get started, we're going to throw it over to Hannah. She's going to tell us a little about Audible, and then we're going to throw it right to the credits and get going. So stay right there. Let's roll it up and let's get going. This is Mad Props.
You know what pairs perfectly with long commutes, boring chores, or pretending you're being productive at the gym? A good story. That's where Audible comes in. Whether you're into true crime, epic fantasy, self-help, or celebrity memoirs read by the celebrities themselves. Yes, even that one. Audible has it all. And here's the kicker. You can try it for free for 30 days. Just head to audibletrial.com/madpropspod to start your free trial. That's right, audibletrial.com/madpropspod. Because books are cool, but listening to them while pretending to be busy, even cooler. Again, that's audibletrial.com/madpropspod.
Let's be honest, folks. If your pets can talk, they definitely tell you your cleaning game needs some work. That's where Neakasa can come in. Whether it's your pet hair taking over your couch or that mysterious mess they decide to leave you right after you clean. Neakasa's grooming vacuums and smart home cleaning tools are built to handle the chaos, so you don't have to yourself. Seriously, it's like giving your home a personal assistant that doesn't eat all your snacks, although they do deserve the snacks. They deserve the snacks. Cheese tax is real. Check out Neakasa.com to upgrade your cleaning game and maybe even impress your pets for once. Too many tongue twisters in there. Your floors, your furniture, and your fur babies will thank you. That's Neakasa.com. Head there and use code MadPropsPod for a special discount from Mad Props to you and your pets. That again is Neakasa.com and use code MadPropsPod. This episode is also brought to you by Schnabel Studios. Whether you're looking for a music event, music concert, regular event, sporting event, whatever it may be, you're looking for video on all that, Schnabel Studios is the place for you. With high quality video and a reasonable price, Schnabel Studios will deliver everything to capture that event perfectly. We also host podcasts such as this one you're listening to right now, Mad Props. Go ahead and go to Schnabel.com to check out everything we do, or head to our social media at Schnabel Studios on Facebook, Instagram, or X to see more. You can also follow this podcast at MadPropsPod on Instagram, Facebook, X, and on TikTok. I forgot what the last one was there for a second. To see more of this podcast or see clips from this podcast, and also subscribe to us on YouTube, or if you're watching it on YouTube, go subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. Let's build that following up everywhere. Come on, we got this. So welcome back to Mad Props. If you are coming back, if you're new, welcome to Mad Props. Please like, subscribe, and all that jazz. Not only to this, wherever you're listening here, whether it's on Spotify or Apple, or if you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because we get a lot of subscribers, but our returning rate is low. It's very strange. Like 95% of you are listening for the first time. So please go and subscribe, and then come back next week for what we got next. And go ahead and follow us on social media. We got TikTok at MadPropsPod. We got Instagram at MadPropsPod. Or you can follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Chris Schnabel, Schnabel. I post a lot. I'm trying to get my name out there, my brand out there. not only for this podcast, but for my video business as well. So you can go ahead and follow me on those. You can follow the podcast on those. But we wanted to come on, or I wanted to come on and talk because, one, I wanted to get a podcast out there. But two, the reason I didn't have a podcast last week and the reason I'm late this week is because my time with the UFL has been coming to a close. And I don't really want to get into that right now. But what I do want to get into is what happened at the closing of the season, which if you are watching, you'll see I'm wearing a big DC Defenders logo on my shirt because the team I was following all year, the DC Defenders, became close to a lot of those guys. From what I've been told by fans of the league, the social accounts were some of the best ones. And all this other stuff. That team that I've been working with, you've heard me talk about. You've heard some of the players on this podcast, Mick and Hines and Maddie McCrane, all on this podcast. They're all DC guys. That team won the UFL championship for 2025. So it's been a busy couple weeks for me with travel and content creation and all this other stuff. So yeah, I had to take a week off just to kind of catch up on things that were going on. But basically on this episode, all I really want to talk about is that. I want to talk about not only being a part of a championship team, what that meant to my career, but also like the experience of going through it. Now, if you're listening to this, you can go ahead and go to my social media page. If it hasn't come out already, it'll be out very shortly after you hear this. I have a POV of championship weekend coming out. It took me a minute to edit, so it's about a week and a half late. But I do the POV videos on my own page. That's coming out, so you can kind of get a behind-the-scenes look. But this is more of kind of talking about behind the scenes and talking about behind the scenes of the whole season because it's been a crazy season. It's been a crazy season. And I don't just mean like the fact of we won a championship and ups and downs and stuff like that. From the beginning of the season to the end of the season has just been a whirlwind. And getting to where we are now in the championship and making a lot of some of the stuff worth it. It's been crazy. It's been a blessing. It's been an honor, and it's been a privilege to be able to follow some of those guys. But at the same time, it's been a stress. It's been tough on me mentally. It's been tough on me physically as well. And that's kind of the stuff I want to get into. I guess I'll go right into that part right there. Like, obviously the mentals is one thing I already sometimes struggle mentally for myself. But physically is where it really hit me. I realized I gained weight, which for anybody that's been a part of this podcast for a while, they would know I had a huge weight loss. I gained probably 20 to 30 pounds in the 3 or 4 months I've been working with the UFL, and that really gets to me. And then physically or mentally as well, that gets to me because when I gain weight, I don't go through good stretches. I definitely have, things I have to work through in that regard when it comes to my body like that. But it was tough. It was tough, like seeing myself gain weight, and I look in the mirror and I could tell I've gained weight, and I just don't like that feeling of like feeling like I have a setback in life. And I've had plenty of setbacks in different ways, but it's tough to go through something in your life that takes up so much of what you do and your personality, and it kind of changes how you run your own life. And then to have such a large setback on top of it, it's just hard for me to deal with. So I'm still dealing with that now and trying to come back from that and everything. But it's been a struggle, like working out less and less because I'm traveling or because they're making us do some sort of meeting or some sort of whatever. It all takes its toll. But we're coming back better than ever. And hopefully we turn it around and get back to where we were. So that's kind of like the mental and the physical part that's gotten to me. But, also the stress of the job. I've worked in these positions for years. I've done sports video and social media for 12 years. And this had to be one of the more stressful positions I've ever had, um, because there was just a lot put on us, and we didn't really. There's a lot put on us, and we were all learning at the same time. Everyone was learning at the same time. So when everyone's learning at the same time, that puts even more pressure on you to do the right thing, to do great, to do well. And when you have that kind of pressure, it's not that you fold under it, but things slip through the cracks. And that also, I'm a perfectionist, and I work like crazy. I mean, look at me. I'm out here at 9:30 at night recording this podcast. You're gonna see it the next day because I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna edit it and get it out there. So having that stress and having things like that really affects me as well. So those are things that affected me in this job. But let's go past the negatives of the job. Not the negatives, but the negative speak that I'm having right now, and go to the positives. One, I think this job really helped me become better at what I do. I already think I'm very good at what I do, especially on the video side. I feel like as a videographer, I do I do really well. I feel like I have a good understanding of what I'm trying to do. I have a good understanding of where I need to be. I say my biggest strength as a sports videographer is I'm always in the right spot. And if you see some of my videos, I always seem to be right where the ball goes. That just came with experience and time, but like it really has I do think that's a really strong asset of mine is being in the right spot. Hold on, I'm gonna grab. It's late and I got things to do. I need my coffee. I got the donut shop coffee. Shout out to them. They don't sponsor us. You could though. But it just really showed that even in a sport that I haven't really covered, like football, I haven't really done too much football. I could still have that same right place, right time, and also get a good shot that players love. So I don't remember where that came from, but yeah, so that's a big positive, and hopefully it makes my portfolio good enough for somebody who wants to come hire me. If you're listening now and you're hiring, you know where to find me, right here. Let's skip to the championship. So the championship took place in St. Louis. It was my DC Defenders versus the Michigan Panthers, who dismantled DC earlier in the year. People listening to this may not follow the UFL. I know before I got this job, I didn't really follow the UFL, which was kind of funny. I talk to people and they're talking about former players or how this team does this team does that. And I don't really know any of it. I still kind of don't know any of it. It's not that I didn't want to be a fan. I just didn't come in as a fan. I didn't really know what to expect. When I came into this job, I've worked in a lot of second-tier leagues, whether it's minor leagues or lower-level college or second-tier, like when I worked with Hartford. I worked a lot of these leagues, and my expectations were kind of like what those leagues were. Like when I came in to the UFL job, and I started meeting players and stuff like that, I assumed, like for example, in Hartford, they're all very good athletes, and most people in the USL are very good. They're usually unbelievable at one aspect, very good at other aspects, and have work to do on other aspects, and that's why they're in the USL and not the MLS or something higher than that. And when I came into this, that's kind of what I was expecting. I was expecting guys that went D2 or went to JUCOs. I was expecting I didn't expect what the UFL actually has. And I don't think people really expect what the UFL has. Like, the people in this league are guys that are they were high level D1. Like, they played in national championships. They were All-Americans, first team All-Americans. They played in major schools, Bama, Oklahoma, Texas, Ole Miss, Florida. Like, these guys are legit. And I don't think coming into it, I really knew that's what it was going to be. I think I just figured it's going to be guys that play football and are looking for an opportunity any way they can. But it really isn't what it was. So that's what I was expecting going into it. But let's go back to the championship because we got all off track there. That's for anybody that thinks they want to get to the UFL or want to watch the UFL. It's not. It's high-level football. It's just guys that either the opportunity wasn't right or the opportunity wasn't there, and they're trying to get that opportunity. But let's flip it. Let's flip it. Back to the championship. So it was Michigan Panthers versus my DC Defenders, and DC had one of the craziest roller coaster years you'll ever have. Head coach leaves for a new job like about 4 or 5 days before the season starts. Interim head coach comes in, leads them to a win over the champs from last year. I don't know what the heck that was. Uh, Leads them to a win over the champs from last year. Then they win another game. Then they win 3 straight. They beat St. Louis, who's like one of the league favorites, we'll call them. Beat St. Louis in St. Louis. They lose the next week. Lose a couple of tough games here and there. They finish 6-4. They go into the playoffs. They're ranked last in the playoffs. Nobody thinks they're gonna win there either. They prove them wrong there. They beat St. Louis again in St. Louis handily, and then they go on and they play Michigan and they just wipe the floor with Michigan. So to have a team, the personality of the team really fit my own personality. So I think I was, a great fit for their social media and stuff like that. But to be a part of that team all year, like I really did feel like a part of that team too. They really did make me feel like a part of that team. Was really fun. I think this was the funnest I've ever funnest or most excitement I've ever had as a part of this job that I've done for 12 years. So we get to the championship. They win the championship, right? And I couldn't believe it at first. Like they were up like 35. I'm like, they're gonna win. Like I'm gonna be a part of a championship team. Like this is amazing. Never had this before in my career. There's been a lot of ups and downs this season, but we're gonna end with a chip. And that final whistle blows. Gatorade bath happens, and they win the championship and they raise the trophy. And like the first thing that I'm thinking is like, man, like this is crazy. I've been working in team sports for 12 years. Minor league baseball, major league baseball, USL, college. I mean, you name it. I've basically worked in it. And I've never had a team win a championship. I've come close a couple times, and I worked for the Red Sox in 2018 when they won the World Series, but I left the job with the Red Sox in about, I want to say the early June, I left the job. So like they won, but it doesn't matter with the Red Sox. I was a nobody. I was a peon with them, so that doesn't matter. I wasn't really a part of anything there. Like I was ingrained in this team. I still talk to guys. The season's over. I still text with guys. I still talk to guys. I hang out with some of them. Like I'm legitimately, I was with them all the time. I was at all the practices. I was at all the meetings, or some of the meetings. I was at, not all the meetings, but I did go to a couple. I traveled with them a lot. Not all the time, but a lot. Just ingrained in it. And then to win was amazing. But then after that, I think the thing that really got to me and the thing that like I still think about is how much they really did consider me a part of the team. Like I was taking photos of guys with the trophy on the field. And one of the players comes up and hands me the trophy. He's like, "Yeah, you need a picture." And the fact that, they just won the championship. They work harder than anybody in the world, and they win a championship. And the first thought they have when they're taking photos with the trophy is, he also needs a photo. He's part of the team. And then in the locker room, the celebration's going on. I'm recording all that because that's my job. And one of the players comes up to me, Abram Smith comes up to me and says, "You need to pop one now." They're popping champagne. He's like, "You need to pop a champagne." And I'm like, "You want me to do it?" He's like, "Yeah, you're one of us." Like, that's the kind of stuff that, it makes it all worth it at the end of the day, because these jobs are tough. They're hard to get, and they're tough to do. I know people might think, oh, it's just social media, it's just videography. They're really tough to do. Just as much as an athlete has a lot of stress on their body and mind during a season, we get a lot of stress as well. We have to do our job basically 24/7. We have to be on call for anything, basically 24/7. This doesn't just go for social and video either. Anyone that works in a sports organization that's not an athlete, I can tell you right now, they're some of the hardest workers out there. Everyone that does it is one of the hardest workers out there. It's a tough job to work in sports. And people will be like, you get to do something you love, like you're working in sports, like that's amazing. But it's a very stressful job. It's a very demanding job. And the athletes might get paid millions, but the people working on the outsides don't. And you get lowest priority. When we traveled, I was always in a middle seat, last person to get a seat. You know what I mean? Like, if you asked on Wednesday, where am I sitting? It was, I don't know yet. The hotel always had to be split. And sometimes you had to hope you got a hotel. We always did, but you never knew until the next day, the day before, I should say. Last on the totem pole when it comes to a lot of things. So then at the end of the year, to be so accepted and to feel so accepted, it really, and if any athletes are watching this, which hopefully some of you are, making the people that are there day in and day out just feel ingrained in the team. You don't know how much it'll mean to them that they just feel ingrained in that team. Most of the time when you take these jobs, you're like, I'm working a job, I'll get cool with the front office. Like, those are the people I'm going to be seeing a lot. But in reality, when you're working this job, the people you see all the time are the players and the coaches. So when they really accept you and let you in, man, there's not much better of a feeling on that. So any players or coaches that may be watching this, anybody, not just the social, not just the video, anybody that may be, in the day-to-day, texting or calling you, doing something, ticketing, anything. You see them all the time. Make sure you let it be known that you appreciate them, because they are working just as hard, if not sometimes harder than some of the people out there. I'm not saying athletes don't work hard, but I don't think most of them understand how much work goes into putting on the sport that they play. I really don't. And most of us that do it wish we were playing that sport, because that's where we all started as well. So that's the end of that. That's the end of my rant there. But it felt amazing to, after a championship, just feel so accepted and have guys like make me feel like a part of the team, because you do start to feel like a part of the team. Whether you get accepted to that or not is beyond your control, but you will feel like a part of the team. You will have an understanding of what's going on. You will know things that other people don't. You will be basically an insider because you know everything. You'll know things that you're not supposed to know. But at the end of the day, most of the time when you're on a team sport, you don't get that at the end of the day. If they do win, you're not always included in the championship. Like, you might get a photo afterwards because you're working with the photo team, and they're like, yeah, you take a photo too. But you probably won't get guys going, let's take a photo with the trophy or something like that. You're still a front office, and that's kind of how it goes. So, thank you, DC, for making me feel accepted, I guess is the point of that entire story. The fact that I now have a championship under my belt in my profession, it's nice to know, because I've been doing this for a long time. I've worked with a lot of bad teams, worked with some good teams, a lot of bad teams. And I've always wondered, like, would the satisfaction of winning a championship, even in my position, just make some of the BS you go through worth it? And I now know, because I went through a lot of the BS, and the job was worth it, man. The job was worth it, because at the end of the day, we were part of a championship. And that's now something I could take with me in my career as I worked for a championship team. Just like players collect rings, I'm telling you right now, people in our profession collect rings. Because when you go to that next job, putting you were in a championship team does have an effect. I'm telling you right now. I've met a lot of people that work jobs that were awful, sorry at their job. But they've been a part of championship teams. And guess what? They got another job. So I'm telling you right now, even in our profession, that matters. It matters. Working with a championship team freaking matters. So it's good to finally have one. It's good to know that it does make it a lot more worth it. And I hope there's more in the future, man. I hope there's more in the future. It took me 12 years. People that have won early on in your career know that. It took me 12 years in my profession to finally be part of a championship team. And for that, I will always be a DC Defenders fan. Always. Because that was the first team I won a championship with. I will always follow them for the rest of my life. And I love that I was able to win a championship with them. Other than all that, some show updates before we go. Shorter episode today. Glad I got to go through all that. Some guests are being lined up. I know I say this every week, but I've actually been emailing with some of them. We're going to look at some local guests to try to get them into our studio, and we're going to look for some other guests as well. So definitely be on the lookout for more guest episodes. Now that we have more time with the end of the UFL season, there's definitely going to be able to be more chatter about getting people on the podcast. You can also follow my secondary channel. It's actually just Chris Schnabel on YouTube, where I'm going to try to start posting more POV videos and stuff like that on these shoots that I do. I just have to figure out how the best way to attack this is, but I have some interesting shoots hopefully coming up before, whatever the next job is calls. And I would love to get some POV videos up there where it's just an interesting little background of what goes on in the day of recording some of this stuff, recording videos with athletes and with anything really. So definitely check that out. That's Chris Schnabel on YouTube as well. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for joining us. Remember, you can get a 30-day free trial of Audible at audibletrial.com/MadPropsPod. You can also clean your house of all your furry friends' fur and other debris at Neakasa.com. Use MadPropsPod for a special discount. Check out SchnabelStudios.com. Check out ChrisSchnabel.com. Check out my social media, Chris Schnabel, at Chris Schnabel on TikTok or Instagram. I think it's at Chris M. Schnabel on Twitter. I have to check that out. But you can also check that out there. I'm a little more active on Twitter these days. X, whatever. Need more following, so go follow me there. Make sure you follow Mad Props at MadPropsPod. Anywhere you get your social media, whether that be Instagram, Facebook, Twitter/X, TikTok. You can go follow it there. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a comment if you enjoyed it. We'd love to hear from you as well. You can get in our mailbox madpropspod@gmail.com. If you want to send us an email, you can send us something and we'll try to do more of those episodes in the future. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am a champion and I love to hear it. Congratulations to the rest of the DC Defenders on winning the UFL Championship. Glad that I was able to be a part of it. We will see you soon, hopefully on Wednesday. Things are going a little crazy, but they're starting to calm down. So hopefully we'll see you Wednesday. Hopefully it won't be here in my backyard, but maybe it will. Maybe I like the way this episode came out and I'll do it during the day. But thank you guys for joining. We'll see you next time. This has been Mad Props. Goodbye. See you later. So long. Cheers.